Welcome. I'm your host, Julie Poole, a law of attraction coach, hypnotherapist, and spiritual teacher. This show is for anyone interested in living their best life on all levels, mind, body, and soul. My aim is to uplift, inform, and inspire you. So let's chat and move you from hoping to having. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to this episode. Today I'm going to be talking to you about manifesting and creating your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, your best life, and giving you some tools and some guidance and trying to lead by example. I'm going to be telling you about the guests that have agreed to come on my show and some amazing podcasts that have agreed to have me on their show, and let you know what's coming up on my show in the next couple of months and some of the events that I will be teaching at. Now, why is this relevant when we're talking about manifesting and creating? Well, in my book, From Hoping to Having, I make it extremely clear with a step-by-step guide how you can create your best life, how to create those goals, identify them, identify blocks to the goals, how to clear the blocks, how to then align with the goals, and then stepping into your intuition, your inner guidance to take inspired action upon those goals. The way that we align with our goals and the universe co-creates with us for those goals to be achieved in divine timing. I want to talk to you about that today, and I hope it's helpful for you. I hope it's useful for you, and I hope you get something out of it. Now, the reason I wanted to share this with you today is because sometimes we can talk about false hope, giving people false hope, just, tell them it's all going to be okay, and nothing changes, and you've just let them down. And this is something I'm very mindful on my YouTube channel when I am doing tarot readings. Because when the energy is incredibly positive, phenomenal sometimes, and the cards are amazing, and I'm telling people listening and watching, this is what you can harness. These are the energies that you can harness over the next month, 6 weeks. Sometimes people will comment, well, nothing changed for me. And my response is always the same, to say, I'm sorry that hasn't happened for you. What did you do to align yourself with it? And that is something that I want to talk to you about today, because it's not enough to just recognize that there are occasions when the energy is very fast and vibrant and will, if you work with it, pick you up and move you towards those goals. That's not enough. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't just land in your lap. You align with it. You take inspired action. So let's start with who I've got coming on my show, my little new podcast that's only been around for 3 months, very new. I'm not a big podcaster, not yet, but it's a goal that I have set. And I do want to share with you my goals today, because in that, not because I'm boasting, ooh, look what I've achieved. I am a normal person. I want to show you that when I set a goal, that a lot of the time I manifest it and create it. And in sharing that, I want to hopefully inspire you to say, if Julie can do it, I can do it. Because you can. Because I'm no more special or no more powerful than you. But we all have the same creative power, the same divine force. If I can do it, you can do it. So I'm sharing my goals with you and what they are, how I did it, what I've achieved so far, what other goals I've yet to achieve, but they're on my list of it's coming, so that you can be inspired to set your own goals and start moving towards them too. When I started this podcast in January, I set a goal that I want to collaborate and network with some incredible people, that I want to grow my show, my podcast, that I want to grow my message of hope, to move from hoping to having, to share the knowledge that I am here as a spiritual intuitive teacher. I don't like the word teacher, but I have some knowledge I want to share with you that may help you. And I want to be able to do that as much as I can. And I have dreams of traveling. It's something that I've not done much of, and I haven't seen much of the world. So in my goals, I set a goal that over the next 10 years, I want to see as much of the world as I possibly can. And if I can align that with sharing the message at the same time, to travel the world inspiring, uplifting, guiding, informing people, then absolutely wonderful. That is my dream and my goal. So I set that goal a couple of years ago, that I'm moving towards it, but it didn't feel quite the right time yet. And I felt intuitively, it's coming, just move gently towards it. Visualize that as your future life. And then as you move closer towards it, you will start to feel the inspired guidance at the right time. So I started my podcast in January, and I felt into it. And I said to the universe, thank you for bringing me the help that I need to grow and develop this, and me as a person along with it. And not very long afterwards, I was approached by Danielle from Spirit School, who's the #1 podcast in the spiritual charts, asking me if I'd be a guest on her show. I was thrilled and delighted and honoured to do that. And I also was thrilled with the universe because I saw it as a sign. It is time, I am aligned, the help is coming towards me. The collaborations, the partnerships, the assistance, the networking. And so I went on Daniel's show, and it was a wonderful experience. And then I had her on mine, and that was a wonderful experience too. And Daniel made some various suggestions about how I could help to grow my podcast. Now, all of this is aligned with my goal for the future that involve me traveling and teaching and sharing and uplifting and inspiring and guiding. And I have some heroes that I have looked up to for many, many years now. I've been around this whole spiritual awareness growth thing for the best part of 50 years. And through the 70s and 80s, I read many books that inspired me. And through the 90s, I read even more. As we came into the 2000s, I discovered the likes of Rhonda Byrne and The Secret, Neale Donald Walsch and Conversations with God. That became my Bible, by the way. And I also discovered Brendan Bayes, who wrote The Journey, which helped inspire me in my healing. And all of these became incredibly important to me and my growth. And the authors of these books, for me, are my inspirers, my teachers. And the #1 up there for me, without any doubt, would be Neale Donald Walsch and Conversations with God. I read books 1, 2, and 3 about 10 times, and I've read several of his other books too. So over the last few weeks, as I've felt my alignment, if you like, I would say my confidence of this dream growing, my belief that I can do it and I can achieve it growing, then I have started to reach out to people that I find uplifting and inspiring. So I sent emails out to Alex Ferrari from Next Level Soul, an amazing podcast and YouTube channel. I sent emails out to Kevin and Stephen from Raising Our Vibration, another beautiful podcast and show. And I also sent out emails to Neale Donald Walsch, Penny Thornton, and a few others. And I asked if I could possibly interview them for my show, or would they be interested in having me on their show so that I can share my things with my knowledge, my book, my inspiration with their guests. And in almost all, I have had yeses. I am absolutely thrilled and delighted and honoured to announce that Neale Donald Walsch is coming on my show in a couple of months' time to talk about his new book, to talk about his world, and it is just incredibly exciting. I mean, he is the author of 39 books. He is a worldwide phenomena. And to me, he is an absolute inspiration. I am thrilled that he has agreed to come on my little podcast show and for me to share him with you. If you've not heard of Neale Donald Walsch, if you've not read Conversations with God, that became my Bible. For me, it was the most inspiring book, the most empowering book, the most truthful book. It spoke to my soul of God's love, of the universe's love, of our power, our divinity within. And I've been teaching from it ever since. I also have Penny Thornton coming on the show, astrologer and author of 8 published books, including the Astrology Handbook. I have Mark Borax coming on, New York Times best-selling author and professional astrologer. He's coming on. I have Anna Taylor Finney, author, spiritual healer and priestess of Avalon, coming on to talk about her book, Lady of the Lake Rise. And I am going to be attending events, Make Success Inevitable Summit in mid-May, which is an online event. And I am attending in person Spirit School, Squamish, British Columbia, Canada in September. Now, all of these things that have been created, I didn't expect them to land in my lap. Some of them came to me. Danielle from Spirit School reached out to me, and that was an absolute blessing and gift, because I was saying to the universe, thank you for helping me. Thank you for showing me. Thank you for bringing me the help I need that is aligned with the goals that I have set. Anna Taylor Finney reached out to me, as did Mark Borax, as did Aaron, who is promoting the Make Success Inevitable Summit. They all reached out to me. I reached out to Penny Thornton. I reached out to Neale Donald Walsch. I reached out to Alex Ferrari. And I reached out to Kevin and Stephen from Raising Our Vibration. So it's a co-creation. We set the goals and then we walk the talk. So let's talk about walking the talk. So how do we, first of all, set a goal? It's to identify, where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? Whether that is on a personal level, I want to grow my compassion, I want to grow my heart, my love, I want to grow my forgiveness, I want to grow my career, I want to grow my business, I want to grow. Identify what you want to grow. And then you put the meat on the bones, you put the detail. So once you've identified your growth, as I did, I want to grow my career. I want to reach more people. I want to travel the world. I want to be able to touch people's hearts and souls the way that other people have touched mine and millions of others, like Neale Donald Walsch. I want to be able to gift my knowledge, my awareness, and I don't know everything, but I want to gift what I do know to others and to do it easily and comfortably. So I set those goals and I added in the ease and comfort. Now, having identified those, then reach inside for any blocks to my goals. So I ask myself, is there any part of me not aligned with this goal? These are the steps I show you in my book. Is there any part of me that's reluctant, scared? Oh, it's a bit scary, this, oh. And then I encourage that part of me that is not aligned with that goal to come forward for a chat, for a gentle, easy resolution. Sometimes it needs a little reassurance. As my inner voice panicked somewhat in early February, just after I started the podcast, and I set these goals of being able to be invited on to some very famous podcasts or to teach in all over the world. It's exciting, of course it is, but it's scary too. Am I ready? Am I good enough? Is it all right? Those voices are inside me, as they are with anybody. So I allowed the voices to come forward, and I gently reassured. And when that part of me said, I'm not there yet, I'm not ready yet, I reassured that part of me saying, yeah, well, we're not there yet. We are putting things in place. And I trust that when the yeses come, I will be ready. And if those yeses come in a few weeks, then it means I'm ready in a few weeks. If they don't come for 6 months, it means I need a little bit more polishing, a little bit more time. So I reassured my inner fears that I'm not going to dive into anything unless it feels right. And so I reached out with those emails towards the end of March. Took me a couple of months to feel I'm ready now. And they might not say yes, and that's okay. And they might say not yet, and that's okay too. That whatever it is, it's okay. This is acceptance of what is. And I said to my inner being, if it's yeses, it means I'm ready. So we're going to jump in and it'll be okay. And it was yeses, and it is yeses. But I find it interesting that a lot of the bigger shows that I look up to is like, ooh, what an honour to go on this show. Or guests like Neil Donald Walsh, what an honour. They're not coming on for another couple of months. And I'm like, that's really good. Then that means I've got another couple of months to grow into the new me. Because what is this new me all about? Why do I even need a new me? Well, the old me is wonderful. I love the old me. She's fabulous. She got me where I am. But I set a goal for a new me that I want to grow into, because I don't want to stand still. I don't want to get to this point and say, I've grown enough now, I can stop. And I've used the analogy before of a leaf uncurling or a blade of grass growing. It doesn't get to a certain size and say, stop now, you've grown enough. It expands, and we expand too, if we're aligned with that expansion. And I am. So I want to keep growing, I want to keep learning, and I want to keep sharing. And when I feel into me sharing my knowledge gathered over a lot of years, a lot of decades, that feels beautiful to me. It feels a gift that I am sharing, a gift that I was given and that I am sharing. And it feels a blessing. And so I don't want to stop it and say enough already. I want to say, let's keep growing. So 20 years ago, I was teaching small classes of 10 and 12 people, and I was doing that 2 or 3 times a week. And the people that came loved it, and they were inspired, and they learned a lot. And I did that for 10 years. And I thought, how amazing would it be to teach 100 people, to teach 1,000 people, to inspire hundreds of thousands of people, to uplift and inform and guide and give new knowledge to, or reassurance to, hundreds of thousands of people. Why limit how many can benefit from a gift that we have, that we want to share? And so whether you're sharing a gift, whether you have a dream of travel like I do, or whether you have a dream of finding a beautiful love, whatever your dream is, it is a gift that you are sharing of yourself in some way. If you have a business that you want to grow, you are sharing your gift, your services, your products. It's a gift you're sharing with others. So we want to always allow that to grow. And so here we are now in 2023. And each month on YouTube, I share my knowledge with about 200,000 people every month on my YouTube channel. These are things I dreamt of 20 years ago, to reach that many people. And when I wrote my book, From Hoping to Having, I dreamt of that reaching millions. And I reached 1,000 people within about 8 weeks, which I was delighted and still am delighted at. And I don't rush it. I don't expect to reach 1 million people tomorrow. I want to share my knowledge through my podcasting, through my YouTube, and gradually, word of mouth, what you hear, people telling people, that book will get itself into more hands and help more people. And when I go on big shows like Next Level Soul, then more people will know about my book. And I'm sharing, I'm expanding, I'm growing. But do you see that these are aligned with the goals that I set for myself? They are aligned. I am aligned. But I'm taking inspired action. What was it that inspired me to reach out to Neale Donald Walsch? To me, one of the most famous spiritual teachers in the world. Me with a new podcast. Me that has looked up to him for over 20 years. What triggered it in me? Well, I was watching Next Level Soul, and he had Neale Donald Walsch on, and it was an incredible interview. And I thought, gosh, you're so lucky, Alex, to be able to interview Neale. And a little voice inside me said, not luck, he just asked. You can ask too. So I thought, okay then. So I found Neale's email and team. I reached out, and his team came back to me and said, tell us a bit more. I told them a bit more, and they put it to Neale, and he's come back with, he'd be happy to come on my show. I was thrilled. This to me is a miracle, but it's a miracle that I have manifested and co-created. You see, many of our manifestations, our miracles, they are not stand-alone, only me miracles. I set the intention I want to reach more people. I want to help more people. That's the intention. It comes from the heart. Now, by reaching out to somebody who is very famous, that is going to reach the message out to more people, because more people will see it. I will co-create with Neale. I'm sharing his message with my people, and some of his people will find me too, if it resonates. It's the same with Alex Ferrari. He has a huge audience, a huge viewing figures. This is about, if you want to expand, then you have to be prepared to get out there and take a risk. Now, I'm talking about expansion because that's my goal, my dream is I want to expand and reach more people, to help more people. It's not for me about the fame, and it's not about the fortune, because this isn't really about money. It absolutely isn't. It's about sharing. People think, I think they do, that you make a lot of money from podcasts. And perhaps that's true if you are one of the top people. I'm making nothing from mine. I give of my time to this podcast freely every week. With YouTube, I give a lot of hours, and I do make a little bit of revenue from the advertising, but probably nothing like people think it is. I could make a lot more by taking a few private clients, but I choose to set aside some free time for YouTube and free time for podcasting because I love it, because I enjoy it, because I'm doing what I was born to do, which is to share the knowledge and guidance and inspire people. When I read messages, comments on YouTube saying, this has helped me so much, or I look forward to your videos every week, it's the highlight of my week. That means so much to me because my intention is to help and uplift and inform and inspire. And so when I hear people saying, It helped them, it informed them, it lifted them, it gave them something to look forward to, then that's me doing the job that I was put on this earth to do. It's wonderful. It's a blessing. I am so blessed to do what I do. So with these amazing guests that I have lined up, I am sharing their knowledge with you because there's things that they know that I don't. I have two amazing world-known astrologers. I'm not an astrologer. I know a little bit, but I'm not an astrologer. These are experts that are coming onto my show to share their expertise with you. This is my dream. The things I don't know, I can access. I said that to the universe. The things I don't know that I feel will help my listeners, please bring those people to me with their knowledge. Neil Donald Walsh has incredible knowledge, and he's coming to share his knowledge with you, my listeners, and with me too. It's a huge blessing. So we learn and we grow from these connections and collaborations and networking and sharing. We learn and grow from trips and travels with other countries and other cultures. We learn and grow from changing our jobs and careers and partners and friends. We're learning and growing all the time. So what is your goal? What is your dream? See, I've shared this with you, being a little bit vulnerable, a little bit open, because that's me, that's who I am. I share this with you to hopefully inspire you, to show you that dreams can sometimes be a long time coming. We can get a little bit impatient. Yeah, I set the goal 2 years ago. I want to get to 100,000 subscribers. I want to reach more people. I want to travel. I want to travel the world. And I feel, yeah, you'll have all of that over the next 10 years or so. Not the next 10 days or the next 10 months. You'll have it all over the next 10 years or so. I'm okay. That's fine. Some goals we reach within a few weeks, some a few months, some 2 years, some 5 years. We set the goals that are right for us at the time, and then we grow towards those goals. So I share this with you about my goals and my dreams because I want to show you that when I'm teaching, sharing, like I have in my book, From Hoping to Having, that's a step-by-step guide for you too, to identify and manifest your goals, your best life. And we're not just talking money, we're talking love and health and happiness and well-being and balance and grounding and all of the wonderful things. That step-by-step guide I wrote for you. I wrote it for you. And I didn't write it for me. I've read it. I read it a million times when I edited every line, every word. I wrote it for you because my higher self, my spiritual team asked me to. And it felt exciting to me to put loads of my knowledge into one place and share it with you. I walk my talk. If I have a dream, if I have a goal, I identify it. I link into and feel into any blocks, any barriers, any misalignment, and I resolve it. And then I take inspired action. I don't wait for the world to just change itself for me, because it doesn't work like that. There are many components that are involved with manifesting one goal, and they involve many different people. Again, I talk about this in my book. I also talked about it through my angel books, and that was a fiction book, but I weaved that through the story, the way the universe works. So what's involved, for example, with me having Neil Donald Walsh come on my show? It's me sending the email to his team. So that involves his team. It's his team then speaking to him. That involves him. Then it's back to the team. Then it's back to me. And there's the fear and the excitement that comes up when I hear it's a yes. Ooh, am I ready? Is it going to be okay? And I feel into those fears and I reassure them and calm them. And yes, it's going to be okay. So in that, you see, we're identifying the goal, the achievement of the goal, clearing the blocks to the goal, and even when the goal comes, there could be other blocks, like there was for me a bit, oh, am I ready? That's another block, clear that. Do you see the way this works? How many people are involved in that goal coming about, as well as the universal energies aligning with the right timing? We are co-creating. We are remembering our power to manifest. We are remembering our ability to create and co-create. We are allowing ourselves to go with the flow of inspired action. We are allowing ourselves to step back when the timing doesn't feel quite right, and to allow our energy to move into full alignment. So I hope that helps you to perhaps trust me a little more. I think trust is essential in any relationship. And this, between you and me, between you, the listener, the watcher, and me, is a relationship that I want it to be based on trust and mutual respect and mutual growth. Because I learn from you too. When you send me your questions that you would like me to discuss on my show, I'm learning from you too, because I don't always have the answers to the questions that you ask. So I tune in to the universe and those questions come. The answers come. And so I walk my talk. And hopefully that helps you to trust me and believe in me. Does that mean that I have healed, fixed, and aligned every goal that I've ever had across this lifetime? Absolutely not. Does it mean I've reached some level of perfection, enlightenment? Absolutely not. I am very much a work in progress, as we all are. But we are perfect within our imperfections, and our goals too are perfect within their imperfections. Sometimes a goal needs to be adapted, amended, tweaked. That what we think we want, we think about and think, no, actually, that won't work right now, but it might work a little bit further down the line. So, what can you do to identify your goals? Is to ask yourself, where am I going? And who am I bringing with me on this journey? What is this journey I'm going on? Into my greatest self, into my greatest life, into my potential? You decide. You are the master of your creation. You are the master of your life. You co-create. You remember who you are. You are a divine creator and co-creator. You are a spark of consciousness, and you are connected to the collective consciousness and all beings and source at all times. You are allowed to be anything you want to be when you allow it. Nobody else gives you permission. Nobody else will do it for you. You and only you create your reality and co-create it along with others. So examine your life carefully, compassionately, lovingly. Identify the areas that are not aligned with who you are now and not aligned with the person that you want to be, that you're growing into. Identify that is a beautiful you of who you were. But if it's no longer who you want to be, then make the changes, because you can. You have the ability, you have the power, and you have the desire to make the changes. So identify, who am I now? Who do I want to be in a year's time? Where am I going? Who's coming with me? I love those two lines. They're not mine. Where am I going? Who's coming with me? They're not mine. They're Neil Donald Walsh's from his book. But they resonate, do they not? Because some people, when you identify your goals and dreams, will try and talk you out of it. They don't want to come with you on that journey, so they try and block and stop your journey. It's your journey, not theirs. Sometimes we leave people behind who don't align with our future self. And that's all right, if you allow it to be all right. Some people don't allow it to be all right, and they will cancel their dreams. And if they can cancel it without any regret, then that's all right. But if they cancel it and are full of regret, that regret builds to resentment. So is it a gain? Is it a win-win or a lose-lose? You will know, and you will decide. So this little podcast today has been about identifying your goals, manifesting your goals, co-creating your goals, and showing you how. And I hope it's helped. And I very much look forward to you joining me for these amazing guests that I have coming on over the next couple of months, and enjoying the knowledge that they have that they want to share and gift to you. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. You take care. Much love. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this podcast and found it useful, please subscribe to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, and more, where you can leave up to a 5-star review. If you want to support my work or want to know more, please go to my website, juliepooleonline.com, where you will find details of my new book, From Hoping to Having, available on Amazon worldwide, and more about my work, products and services. The link is in the show notes. Thank you for listening. See you in the next episode.